Hello, and welcome to Read Us a Story. What shall we read today? How about Peppa Pig, Peppa's Frosty fairy tale. Once upon a time, it was cold and quiet winter's day. Peppa and George were playing indoors and making lots of noise. Peppa, George, called Mummy Pig, why don't you look in your box of books and pick a nice story to read? Peppa and George searched through the box and pulled out their favourite books. They giggled with excitement as they looked through the pages. Then Peppa danced all over the living room, pretending that she was in a fairy tale. A snowman! Snowman, snowman! Cheered George, holding his favourite book. Peppa and George loved stories. That evening, Granny and Grandpa Pig came over to stay the night. Hello, Granny and Grandpa, said Peppa and George. Oh, hello, little ones, said Granny Pig, giving them both a big hug. It's time for bed now, said Mummy Pig. Please, can Granny and Grandpa tell us a bedtime story? Asked Peppa. Of course, Peppa, said Granny Pig. We'd love to. Once Peppa and George were tucked up in bed, Grandpa Pig showed them a beautiful new snow globe. Then he began to tell a story. Once upon a time, he said, there was a cold and magical place called Frosty Kingdom. How do you get to Frosty Kingdom? Asked Peppa. First, you have to travel over the snowy hills, said Grandpa Pig. Then you journey through a deep, dark forest. Finally, you must climb a huge mountain until you reach the winter castle at the very top. I bet the Sugar Plum Fairy lives there, and a Snow Queen, said Peppa. Snowman, said George. Peppa and George loved Grandpa Pig's stories. I wish we could go to Frosty Kingdom too, said Peppa, as she and George drifted off to sleep. In the morning, Peppa and George woke up to the sound of jingling bells. They peered through the window to find out where the noise was coming from. It's snowing! Gasped Peppa. And Granny and Grandpa are outside with a big sleigh! And 3 reindeers! Just then, Mummy and Daddy Pig came into the bedroom. Granny and Grandpa are taking us all on an adventure, said Mummy Pig. We're going to Frosty Kingdom. Frosty Kingdom was in Grandpa's story, said Peppa. We'll be needing these, said Mummy Pig, handing out winter coats and woolly jumpers. We're travelling by sleigh. Hooray! Cheered Peppa and George, jumping up and down. Everyone climbed into the sleigh and they set off. Oh, which way is Frosty Kingdom? Asked Daddy Pig. Grandpa Pig pointed far off into the distance. First, you have to travel over the snowy hills, he began. Then you journey through a deep, dark forest, said Peppa. Finally, you must climb a huge mountain until you reach the winter castle at the very top. That's right, Peppa, said Grandpa Pig. After they went over the snowy hills and through the deep dark forest, they started to climb the huge mountain. Are we nearly there yet? Asked Peppa. Suddenly, George saw something move. Snowman! Everyone turned to see a snowman waving at them. Hello, said Peppa. We're on our way to Frosty Kingdom. Peppa and George waved goodbye, and the reindeers pulled the sleigh further up the mountain. Up the mountain they climbed, up and up and up, until the sleigh reached a clearing and the reindeer stopped. Are we nearly there now? Asked Peppa. I can't see the magical winter castle. Yes, I think we may be lost, said Grandpa Pig. I'm sure it was this way. Oh, no, Peppa sighed. What are we going to do? If only there was someone here to help, said Grandpa Pig. Hello, Peppa and George, a voice said. Look, it's Miss Rabbit, said Peppa. Actually, Peppa, I'm the Sugar Plum Fairy, said Miss Rabbit. You're on the right path. Frosty Kingdom is further up the mountain. Ooh, this is so magical, cried Peppa. The sleigh climbed higher once more and was nearly at the top of the mountain when... Welcome to Mr. Fox's official Frosty Kingdom shop, said Mr. Fox. Everyone hopped off the sleigh to take a quick look around. Daddy Pig loaded up a basket with sponges, telephones and wool. I'm sure these will come in handy at Frosty Kingdom, ho ho ho, he said. Everyone piled back on the sleigh and they set off again. Finally, they arrived at Frosty Kingdom. We're here, announced Grandpa Pig. Peppa saw something sparkling up ahead. As they got nearer, she gasped, It's the winter castle, and there's the Snow Queen. Look, it's Miss... Hello, everyone, interrupted Miss Rabbit. I'm the Snow Queen. Welcome to Frosty Kingdom! Peppa and George waved and giggled excitedly. I wish we could stay here, said Peppa. Peppa, this is our cabin, said Grandpa Pig. We're going to stay here for the night. Wow, cried Peppa. This is the best Frosty fairy tale adventure ever. Thank you, Granny and Grandpa. Ho, ho, ho. You're most welcome, Peppa, said Grandpa Pig, smiling. Peppa and George raced inside the cabin and looked around excitedly. It's like we're in your story, cried Peppa. Maybe we are, said Grandpa Pig, laughing. Peppa loved Frosty fairy tales. Everyone loved Frosty fairy tales. And that was Peppa's Frosty fairy tale. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, be sure and like the video. And remember, you can always subscribe to the channel at Read Us a Story. Thanks. Bye. Hello, and welcome to Read Us a Story. What shall we read today? How about Peppa Pig, Peppa's gold medal? It was a very special day at playgroup. Good morning, children, said Madame Gazelle, and welcome to the playgroup games. What are the playgroup games? Asked Peppa. Madame Gazelle explained that, with the help of some special guests, the children would play different sports to find their favourite and perhaps win medals. Ooh! Said the children. They loved sports, and they really loved medals. Madame Gazelle showed the children all the amazing sports that were set out for them to try. There was basketball, cycling, athletics,
football, golf, trampolining, gymnastics, tennis, badminton, and
skateboarding and climbing are new this year,
announced Miss Rabbit. It's about time too, Daddy Pig said as he performed an expert kickflip. I'm sure you will all find your favourite sport, children, said Madame Gazelle. Let the playgroup games officially commence!
The games are underway,
commentated Miss Rabbit through a super loud microphone.
Mandy Mouse gets another basket for the win. Team Playgroup are tearing it up at the tennis court. Isn't George climbing well, Madame Gazelle?
Asked Miss Rabbit. I dare say he is, Madame Gazelle replied.
And that's another hole-in-one for Gerald Giraffe,
said Miss Rabbit.
Yeah, go Gerald!
Grampy Pig cheered. To try gymnastics, the children went to Grampy Rabbit's gym. I love gymnastics, cheered Pedro Pony as he flew through the air. Whee! Miss Rabbit took the children who wanted to try swimming to the swimming pool. Splish, splash, splish, splash. When they were done, she hopped back on the school bus and took the children who wanted to try rowing to the river. Team Playgroup were having lots of fun at the Playgroup games. There were so many amazing things to try. Squeak, do I just whack the feathery thing? Said Susie Sheep. Whack away, Susie, said Madame Gazelle. Some children tried sports on their own, and some were in teams, but all the children were very proud of themselves. Soon, almost everyone had found a sport they loved best. Peppa watched her friends play, but she was still deciding.
There are so many fun sports, she said. I don't know which is my favourite.
Why don't you try out a few different ones, suggested Madame Gazelle.
OK,
said Peppa, and she zoomed off. Peppa raced around trying the different sports, but she didn't try a few like Madame Gazelle had suggested. She tried every single one. She played sports on her own. She played sports in teams with all her friends, and she cheered for everyone as loudly as she could.
Go, Danny! Great job, Mandy! Amazing climbing, George!
Just as Peppa finished the last sport, Madame Gazelle blew her whistle. Please gather round, she said. It's time to hand out the gold medals.
Oh no!
Peppa whispered to Susie.
I didn't win anything. Now I won't get a medal.
Haven't Team Playgroup done us proud, Miss Rabbit? Said Madame Gazelle.
Oh, yes,
agreed Miss Rabbit.
Fine sportspersonship all around today.
Madame Gazelle started to hand out the gold medals. Every child got a gold medal for winning a different sport, except Peppa. And it is with great pleasure, said Madame Gazelle, that I announce a final gold medal goes to Peppa Pig!
But I didn't win anything,
said Peppa, confused.
I didn't even choose a favourite sport to play.
It's not only the winning that matters, Peppa, said Madame Gazelle. It's also the taking part, and you took part in every single sport for your team.
Yes, I did. Oh.
said Peppa, smiling. She looked proudly at her gold medal.
Thank you, Madame Gazelle.
You're most welcome, Peppa, said Madame Gazelle.
Well done.
Just then, it started to rain. Let's go inside, children, said Madame Gazelle.
Wait,
said Peppa.
Can we play one more sport? Please?
Haven't you had enough sports today, Peppa? Asked Mummy Pig.
This one is the best sport of all, Mummy,
said Peppa.
Muddy puddle jumping,
cheered Peppa, jumping up and down in a giant muddy puddle. Splat! All the children and all the grown-ups joined in too.
I think you've invented a new sport for the playgroup games, Peppa,
said Miss Rabbit.
I officially announce this event number 201, the Muddy Puddle Jump.
It's about time too, isn't it, Daddy Pig? Said Mummy Pig, smiling. But Daddy Pig was busy jumping up and down in the muddy puddle, shouting, "This is the best sport of all!" As it started to get dark, the rain stopped, just in time for a final surprise.
Fireworks!
Shouted the children. Ah! What a perfect way to end the playgroup games. Peppa looked down at her medal as it sparkled in the light of the fireworks. Everyone, Peppa loves her gold medal. Everyone in Team Playgroup loves their gold medals. And that was Peppa Pig, Peppa's gold medal. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, be sure and like the video. And remember, you could always subscribe to the channel at Read Us a Story. Thanks. Bye! Hello, and welcome to Read Us a Story. What shall we read today? How about Peppa Pig, Peppa's first day at school, a Lift the Flap picture book. Madame Gazelle and the children were in the playgroup garden. "Your plants are growing beautifully, children," said Madame Gazelle.
"So am I," said a voice. "I am growing bigger and bigger and bigger."
Me too, cheered Peppa's friends. "Yes, one day you will all be big enough to go to school," said Madame Gazelle.
"What's school like?"
asked Peppa. "Let's play first day at school tomorrow," said Madame Gazelle, "so you can find out for yourselves. Hooray!" The next morning, Peppa was very excited to play first day at school. Daddy Pig helped her make a packed lunch while everyone talked about school. "You might wear a uniform," said Mummy Pig. "It's a bit like a costume. Lots of people wear them, like firefighters." "Ooh!" said Peppa, and she disappeared upstairs. Soon after, there was a knock on the kitchen door.
"Ta-da! I'm ready for school," said Peppa.
"Oh, what a lovely costume, Peppa, but I'm not sure that's quite right for school,"
said Daddy Pig, smiling. When they arrived at playgroup, instead of going straight inside, Peppa and her friends waited in the playground until the bell rang. Ring, 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 ring. Inside, Madame Gazelle showed the children some pegs to hang up their coats and bags. "At school, you will each have your own peg," she explained. You might also have a book bag to bring to school and take home. I've brought one in to show you. What do you think you keep inside it? Books! cried Peppa. Next, Madame Gazelle asked the children to join her for carpet time. She then talked about how they might feel on their first day of school. You might feel happy like this, she said, pointing at the board. Or excited. Or even a little bit nervous. Madame Gazelle asked Rebecca Rabbit to draw a picture of how she might feel. Are you happy or excited in your picture, Rebecca? Asked Madame Gazelle. Squeak! Both! Said Rebecca. You will learn lots of wonderful things at school, said Madame Gazelle, like writing, numbers, colors, and shapes. And you might play memory games. She asked Mandy Mouse to lift up the cloth on her table. First, look carefully at the objects and try to remember them all. Duck, block, trumpet, ball. Play-Doh, train, crayons, ball. Car, ball, digger, pencils. Now you can put the cloth back down and remember what was under it, said Madame Gazelle. There was a car, a digger, some pencils, and a ball, said Mandy. Very good, Mandy, said Madame Gazelle. What a fantastic memory. Next, Madame Gazelle took the children to the playgroup gym. You will do PE at school, she explained. In PE, you'll play games with lots of movement.
Like when we play at playgroup?
Asked Pedro Pony. Yes, Pedro, just like playgroup, replied Madame Gazelle. Now, let's go and play, children. Yay! Whee! Whee! At lunchtime, Madame Gazelle explained that they will probably eat in a dining hall. You might have a school dinner or... Squeak! Will school have carrots? Will school have cheese? Asked Mandy. I'm sure they will, said Madame Gazelle, but you can bring a packed lunch. If not, like me, said Peppa, pointing to her lunchbox. Yummy! After lunch, the children went outside for playtime. You will all make lots of lovely new friends at school, said Madame Gazelle, and there will be a playground for you to play in together. Can you sometimes just play with one old friend too? Asked Susie Sheep. Yes, of course, Susie, said Madame Gazelle, smiling. Do you like school, Susie? Asked Peppa. Yes, said Susie. It's amazing. Ruff, will there be music at school? Asked Danny Dog when they went back inside. Oh, yes, said Madame Gazelle. Music and singing.
Bang, crash, bang, 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 bring.
Just like playgroup, said Danny. Yes, just like playgroup, said Madame Gazelle, opening the music room door.
Rattle, rattle.
Next, Madame Gazelle took the children back to the classroom. At school, you will have something called Storytime, she said. Just like when you read to us at playgroup, said Peppa. Can you read us a story now, Madame Gazelle? Asked Molly Mole. I'm feeling tired after school. Wonderful idea, said Madame Gazelle. And I have the perfect book. After storytime was finished, the bell rang for the end of the school day. The children's parents arrived to pick them up. Peppa loves playing first day at school. Everyone loves playing first day at school. School is like playgroup, Mummy, said Peppa. Just bigger. Yes, Peppa, said Mummy Pig. And you'll be going there when you're bigger. I can't wait, said Peppa. And that was Peppa Pig. Peppa's first day at school. A Lift the Flap picture book. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, be sure and like the video. And remember, you can always subscribe to the channel at Read Us a Story. Thanks. Bye!